Good morning to you. I'm here to talk about another very important astrological event, which is Neptune moving into Aries. That actually is happening just the day after the eclipse's portal ends on the 30th of March. And this is the second very important transit that we have, collectively speaking. I've extensively already talked about Pluto entering Aquarius, which is really a beginning of a new era because it happens every 250 years. But also Neptune in Aries is a very major one because Neptune transits for 14 years in each sign, having so a cycle of 164 years, more or less. So it was a long time that Neptune didn't transit into Aries, and now we are there. It's not a permanent yet, because Pluto will start being retrograde in July, and then between the 22nd of October of this year and the 26th of January 2026, it will slide back into Pisces for a last time. But then from the 26th, January 26, very interesting double numbers, is staying for the next 13, 14 years in the sign of Aries. Wow. This is a great shift in the collective awareness. Pluto and Neptune are the two planets most connected to the collective unconscious. So they have a very subtle impact on all of us that is not always so obvious to notice, that works really on such a deep level that allows deep transformation, but that takes time. And here we have Neptune, the water that is eroding the stones, creating new shapes of ourselves. So it's a long, long and deep process. But what do we have here? We have two forces that combined can really be seen as the spiritual warrior. We have the spirituality with Neptune, and we have the warrior energy of Mars and Aries. So the first and most important thing that we should devote ourselves to in the next 14 years is really embody more and living from the space of our spiritual warrior. So the lessons here are, how do I bring spirituality? How do I combine the spirituality of Neptune to my sense of identity, my sense of independence, of autonomy? How do I live more spiritually, my vital force? How do I use it? Do I use it really wisely and with really a spiritual intent? Or I just misuse it? Am I able to really use my willpower also in the hardest of times? Willpower is Aries, and also courage, spiritual courage. So I feel that in the next 14 years, we will be tested. That's a very strong spiritual test. That doesn't have to create pressure and, to feel limited or pressured or forced, but it has really to be what it is. The possibility to test ourselves. Because there are many shadows here, and there is one shadow that connects both Pisces, Neptune, and Aries, which is fear. Fear is very common in Pisces energy and Neptunian energy, but is also the dark side of Aries that sometimes shows off, is very, also sometimes boasting and being arrogant or but just to hide an underlying fear that is always there. So fear will emerge even stronger than before. We could really find these inner battles against illusory enemies. Martyrdom is another thing. Holding resentment. So these are all the shadows that could come up, but mostly is really fear. Also anxiety. So one good question is, okay, what I'm anxious about? Where does anxiety lie in my body? And how do I deal with that? Do I try to escape it somehow, to pretend it's not there? Am I avoiding to face it because this anxiety is like the ringing of a telephone that is asking me to connect with what's there? And maybe it will lead me to have to change something that actually I'm very afraid to change, to let go of. So that's a lot. Yeah, a spiritual test. We will have to face our fears. There's no way to avoid it. And also stay with that fear and having the possibility to step and to tap into our courage, to tap into this energy of the spiritual warrior that despite this very strong inner fighting and these battles against imaginary foes or what we create as enemies, knows that there is a part that has willpower, has courage, that has the possibility to pull yourself together and just face it and just stay with it and just act despite the fear. Action sometimes exercises fear. Yeah, it's a subtle line anyway, because sometimes it's also a way to avoid listening to the fear. But we have to find what's true for us. And one question also is about this individuality, is how my being myself intertwines with the fabric of the universe, of the collective system around me. This is a very important point. But before me being really myself, or you being really yourself, there's something that has to happen, and that's not easy process, which is masks have to fall. Authenticity must emerge. And that's something I've already said for some other transits or astrological placements more than once, but here is very imperative. It's a present matter. Because most of the times we put these masks on to protect ourselves, and because we are scared of who we really are. And Neptune tries to cover, to mask, to raise these fogs of illusions, but in Aries, Neptune in Aries is no longer possible to do that. So illusions, self-deceits must cease. We have to become more true, more truly ourselves. Yeah, and from that space, so, okay, me being myself, you being yourself, how does it connect with this great network, this weird, as they called in the ancient Scandinavian mythology, the weird, the web that is interwoven by the norms that contains past, present, and future. So where do I place myself? Yeah, and also it's about really channeling the passion, the energy towards something that is really aligning us more with our soul, not with our persona, not with our personality, the outer mask, but with our soul. Stop being the saviors of all, of everybody, which is also is a delicate balance, because Neptune wants to take care of people, to be of service, to give, to be able to connect in full compassion. But at the same time, this can't happen from a place of martyrdom, of I give up myself in order to help others. But we have to embrace this individuality, this I am energy. But this I am from the space of the soul. This is what Neptune in Aries is about. And I leave you with the Chandra, the star spark, the Chandra symbol, star spark of the degree 1 of Aries, which is the one Neptune is transiting around this year, which is a man repairing and extending a stone wall in the spring. So this is about having focus, not wasting time on complications, dramas, impossible expectations, projections, upheavals, turmoils. It's about, okay, there is this stuff. It's impossible to avoid it, but I go on no matter what. Spiritual test. I don't paralyze myself out of fear or drama. I keep going. I keep doing what I love to do, not because I have to, not because there is this masculine energy that has to overdo all the time, but it's really about there's something I really feel I want to do. And I will not permit, I will not allow fear to block me and freeze me. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot happening, and our spiritual warrior is there, really looking forward to be able to be manifest fully in our lives. Of course, this Neptune transit impacts more the people who were born in the cusps between Pisces and Aries, between Gemini and Cancer, between Virgo and Libra, and between Sagittarius and Capricorn. Of course, the end of this and the beginning of these signs, so the cusps days, or if you have personal placements, important placements in those degrees, will be the most impacted. But anyway, if you want to know more about what Neptune is doing in your birth chart, you can click on the link below and I can send you a mini personalized Neptunian report in this moment, which I will send via voice message through WhatsApp. So if you wanna have it, you can just click there and get your personal mini transit report, transit Neptunian report. Enjoy this amazing opportunity for growth and for really evolution. I wish you all the best.